Stay upstairs in the press box. Go ahead.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. For Kevin, can you describe where and when the back of your car got destroyed, how that happened? And for Richard, can you talk about it just being bittersweet with what happened with Paul Menard and Jeff Burton today?
Well, I think when they all got stacked up there, that's what knocked the hood up, and then I think Paul actually got into the back of me, and that's what knocked his radiator out. But they got stacked up. I don't even remember when it was. It was before halfway. Everything happened before halfway, thank God, that we were able to work on the car after that.
Yeah, I told Jeff after the race was over, I said, it'll turn. He's having some tough breaks right now, and I said, it can turn the other way just as quick and as good as what you're going through right now. And for Paul, I really hated to see it. I think when he hit the back of Kevin there, everybody just jammed up and knocked his radiator out and ended up burning the engine up there.
Go ahead, press box. More questions?
Bruce Martin, SI.com. Kevin, when you left Daytona finishing 42nd, here we are 5-6 races later. You're now 5th in points, only 15 out of the lead. Just talk about that remarkable comeback and how that kind of positions you to be another contender for a championship yet again.
Honestly, when we left Daytona, I was laughing because it had been 156 races since we'd had an engine problem. And it's hard to get down on anybody for 1 in 156 in this sport. Our engine guys do a great job at what they do, and from where I started at RCR to where we are today, I feel like we have the best engine department. And I feel like when we started, we were mediocre on the mediocre side of the engine side, and it's one of the best engine departments in the business. So there's no reason to get down on those guys because all I'm going to do is cause more harm than I will good, getting down on them and just try to support them, and they're going to they figured it out, and we'll move forward.
Go ahead, press box.
Jay Pennell with front stretch on all left turns. When the field started pitting under green there at the end, and then the caution came out, how close were you all to coming in? And after you guys do come in off and come out of the pit road under that caution, you go from lining up on the inside. Jimmy gets the penalty. Now you're on the outside. How worried were you being in that top groove?
Well, I wasn't real happy because I knew that the odds were against us in that particular situation. It was just all a matter of getting down, and we were able to race the 17 really hard and get a good drive up off the corner and just kind of squeeze in there. And then from that point on, there was enough laps left to get by the 42 and the 18. The 18 was struggling pretty heavily through the center of the corner, and we were able to get by him pretty easy. And then it was all about chasing down the 88 after he had taken off a little bit, but it all worked out.
Go ahead, press box. Continue.
Anyone else up top? Thanks, that's all.
Okay, we'll come back.
Whoa, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah, Kevin, it's Bruce Martin again. If you could just kind of elaborate on how this positions you to make another run at a championship this year with the way you've been the last 2 weeks.
Well, I think when you look at the 2 wins, I feel good about I'll take our chances on making the chase with the wild card stuff. So here we are, six weeks into the season, and I feel like we can take more chances than we did last year. Just because I'm not saying that that'll be exactly what we need to be, but honestly, I feel like maybe you guys will disagree, but I feel like we can really push the limits on trying to win races and doing what we have to do to try to do that, just for the fact that we've got that cushion in our back pocket. So something that we've only done I think once before is win back-to-back weeks, and to come out this season and win at racetracks that we hadn't won at before, but we felt like we've been fairly good at over the last couple of years is good for our confidence, to say the least.
Anything else upstairs?
Yes, Nate Ryan, USA Today. I guess for both Kevin and Gil. Kevin, you said you're ready to slit your wrist there in the first 100 laps or whatever, but listen to your radio chatter. You were giving extremely calm, detailed feedback. You talked about this being another character building day. Have you guys already reached the point where you've built enough character that this is just par for the course for you guys, that you can be that calm, measured driver that can win a championship? You
must have just clicked in between the calm points. because there was a few uncalm points. I know when Richard comes on the radio and says, "All right, you need to do this or that," and I know that I've kind of carried it over the edge, and I need to just shut up and go about my business, because at that point I need to get back to focusing on my job. But you know, I'm just a high-strung person, and I don't know. I turn into this lunatic when I get in the car, and I wind up apologizing more than I do anything else. But I get in this mind frame that I just can't get out of while I'm in that race car, and that's all I think about, and it's all I want to do is do good for our sponsors and our team, and it's just, that's really what it's all about. So you just turn into this crazed animal. I can't explain it. Is that not a good explanation?
Well, I think that's it. I mean, somebody brought it to my attention this week that this was my 100th start with Kevin. And I think what happens is he gets the opportunity to vent, because the car was terrible and he needed to vent. But I think in the beginning when he would do that, I think we would somewhat take it to heart and take it personal. And now we just continue to let him vent. We go about our business and decide what we're going to do on the next change, and we feel good about it, and so does he. So it works out good in the end.
Anything else upstairs before we come back down to the media center?
All right, Bob, what's your next question?
All right, let's come back downstairs. Let's go over here to Jim Utter, and then we'll go to David Newton.
I'm going to be pissed if Bob Pockris doesn't ask a question today.
We don't want that.
He can go next.
Go ahead, Utter.
Jim Utter from the Charlotte Observer. I'm sure character building is great, but would it be nice to have a race weekend where you didn't have to go through a list of obstacles to get to this outcome?
It would be nice, but I think we need somewhat of a challenge, it seems like. I don't know why that is, but how many phones you got in your pocket? Man can't text, but he's got 2 phones in his pocket. I think it's just kind of been really the nature of the beast, really since I've started. And I think if you look back and you really look back at the days when you and Dale and everybody, it was just all about making days out of days that really weren't there. And you make something out of something that's not very good. And when we started today, we weren't very good. But at the end, it was pretty good. And obviously, it was the best car on the racetrack. So, it's just one of those deals where maybe we were just brought up different. I don't know. We just raced different.
Go here to David, and then we'll go to Bob. Go ahead, David.
Come on, Bob.
Yeah, for Gil, I think you mentioned a Days of Thunder moment there at the end with your tires matched up or something. Can you explain that? And then Richard, would get to you too. Obviously, you were close to Dale Jr. too. Was there any stirring emotions seeing him up there leading the crowd going crazy and your man catching him?
Well, I mean, I'm like Kevin. I mean, we all want to see Dale Jr. win a race. I mean, if one of our 4 cars can't win, I'd like to see him win. But you don't want to let him win at your expense. And Kevin had to do what he had to do right there at the end, and I was proud of him. It's just Dale Jr. will win races. He will come back. We've been in that situation. We've had a long dry spell, so I know what it meant if he could have won that race. But like I say, we did what we had to do, and that was to win the race.
I guess what I was letting him know that during the halftime, we were able to get what we felt like during the race was our best set of tires as far as the codes and as far as the spring rates on the tires, and we spent a lot of time juggling them around trying to get them the same, so because we thought the car had pretty good balance. And I told him it's kind of a cliche, like it was a perfect match set of tires. Harry Hogg put the best tires on him. So, but we really did. We spent a lot of time making sure the stagger was right and the spring rate exactly the same, so that when we got to that last set of tires, that we felt pretty confident that the balance was going to stay the same on the car. And I wanted him to know that we had spent that time to really make sure we had them the same, because we weren't going to make any air pressure adjustments on that last run.
And in the end, we're all a bunch of sarcastic smartasses. So that's really the only way we know how to communicate with each other, to really make each other laugh. We can't communicate like normal people. We have to be sarcastic and smart alecks.
There you go. Bob Pockris.
Bob Pockris.
All right,
Daily.
here we go. Drum roll.
Did you realize that your contact with Newman had cut down his tire, and did you know that was kind of why he was maybe
Cut down
Get-
whose tire?
Newman's.
Oh.
And that's why maybe he was.
I didn't know I had contact with Newman.
Yes.
I did.
I didn't think he did.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I didn't know I had contact with Newman.
I just didn't think he could see out of his rearview mirror there.
It was on 7 cylinders in the way.
And for Gil, was there ever a point where you didn't think you'd get to 100 races with Harvick?
I didn't know I was that close to start with. I would have went to Richard. He said I should have get a medal, but I'm glad I did because of the fact I've told a lot of people that in the last 10 years we've been through a lot of ups and downs, and whether we've raced together or I've been on another team in the same company, that I think at the same point Kevin's matured a lot, and through his maturity he's made me mature in a lot of ways. Even though I'm older, I've matured a lot of ways at the racetrack because there's a lot of things that are much more important to me now at the racetrack. We don't spend a lot of time looking for the trick shock of the week or the trick setup of the week or the hot tip car. I mean, we bring something that every week to the racetrack that he's familiar with, his office. I look at it as his office. He's familiar with where everything's at in that thing, and we make small changes when we get to the racetrack. So I think that 100 mark is kind of a short story because I've sit and watched. I don't know how many that's been. It's probably closer to 300 to know what this guy needs. And when it comes down to the end, he stands up in the seat and gets the job done. And so I'm proud to be here for 100.
Go ahead, Chad.
Chad Hall, BTW 21. Kevin, catching that 88 car, his car had kind of left him, and you got around him pretty easy. Did you expect it to be that easy, or was you looking for a little battle there?
Well, he gave me a couple shots, which, I was expecting just because it was so late in the race, and I knew where he was. I knew he wanted to win. But for me, I knew my strong point was getting in the corner, and I just didn't want to get hit getting in the corner. If I could get hit in the middle of the corner, then I knew I could drive up off. So it was a lot of fun, and I think, obviously there's a lot of attention on anything that Dale Jr. does, and to be racing with him for the win is something that we hadn't. I don't remember ever doing that before, but was fun to do today.
Any further questions? Well, congratulations to Kevin, to Gil, and to Richard on second consecutive win, and we'll see you at Texas. Thank you.